Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at more of the plague, and that's really it. After this, next 3 episodes are going to be pretty empty, but they are very important, just know that. But before we see anything else in today's video, we actually see a war taking place, and it's a civil war, and it's the red team. These areas are pretty far away from them, and they've decided to split off. We're gonna use this color. So they split off, and they end up taking a good amount of land, actually. And they're going to continue taking the land, and they're going to march this way now. But by the time they get to around here, there's not really, by now, it's pretty stalemated, and the red team has actually made a push back into the country, and some part of this area is taken back until it gets to about here, and they're just going to keep pressing in. But this is a grueling civil war, and it takes a long time to complete. And a lot of people die. It tries to form down in the south, but it doesn't really do anything down here. The south is very stable compared to the north. But eventually, they just grant these guys independence, and they go ahead and they're able to take all these areas. And looks like some of these borders aren't doing the best right now. I'm gonna fix those up. And there we go. So, here is this new country. Let's actually turn off the provinces now. So this is what the new country looks like. And we're going to be, of course, turning on major cities, and we're going to be giving them their capital. It's going to be right here. And that's our next new country. And now, since there's a new country, we're going to add it to the ideology layer. And this new country's ideology is actually, it's going to be, as I was saying, they're going to become not a true democracy, but they will become a false democracy. That's something, at least. And our next event in the video, we're just going to go ahead and get the other events, besides for the plague, out of the way. But that is actually going to be these Siberian teams. We're going to be talking about them right now. So basically, the gray team, I zoomed in a lot. So basically, it's like the gray team, the blue team, and this is like more of a Korean team, so not really. But these two are developing their own identity. So that basically just means in religion, we see they have like this off religion area, but it is more so intensifying. And it's basically spread to like over into here now. That's a little strange, but okay, so yeah. They have like their own identity now. I need to erase this a little bit. There we go. So, they've developed their own identity now, and like own sort of religion. And it's really separate from what's currently here. I'm gonna move that over a bit. So they fully have their own identity by now. And it's not like ethnic cleansing or anything like that. It's just their own identity, which is kind of nice. Down here, these guys, I don't know why they still have the Russian thing, but we're going to be keeping that. I'm actually going to be changing this up a little bit. And this purple theme thing, I don't know why it's reaching up to here. There's the revamped system now. And we're probably not going to look at religion again for the entire rest of the series. Actually, it won't become necessary. So I think it is time that we're going to delete this layer so we have less layers. About the moon, I don't think we're ever going to use this again. So we're going to delete that. It's irrelevant after we used it. This ecological, this thing, it's still, all these, economic things are still here. It's getting a little bit hard to control with how many there are. But it is still going strong. Meanwhile, over in this one, we actually see them gaining a member, being this team, the green team, and down here we also see the Puerto Rican team joining up with it, because it is actually a very good one. Not one down in South America, and Venezuela is still dead. Oh, I guess up here we need to delete the farmers unit, or the science team that died. And now we can take a look away from that. And power rankings. I think we're going to do one more power ranking for the most part. We're probably going to do a power ranking at the end of episode 45. One now, there's really no way to see. And most like the red team is very weakened. Korea, they're still fine. So I would say red team's probably dropped down to number 4 now. Communist China and Indonesia have moved up. Ireland, it's way down. It's probably in like 13th. There's just a ton of switching between all these guys. But we'll update that at the very end. Meanwhile, we're going to look back up at the plague. As we know, all of Europe is infected, for the most part. And eventually, the southern area down here is going to be fortified. These borders are going to be fortified, so this African claim is actually more fortified than their own countries. This country, the new one, even though it's brand new, it's going to be quick to fortify themselves. And even the red team is starting to get a little scared as they've started to fortify these areas. And they fortified probably about this much area. Now it's time to look up at the plague, and we're going to be starting off in South America. They have taken a lot of more Peru over, so Peru is basically getting demolished here. And they're starting to go down south more, and they're eating away. They're eating away at the Peru's capital area, as it is almost reached. Not really their puppet state. There's no one living there, like I said, but oh yeah, that's Brazil. Okay, and it just continues downward. Eventually, all of Peru's coast has been captured. And it's pretty much all this plague now. And the Peach Team's capital has been taken. So they're almost collapsed, but their alliance is helping out a ton. Meanwhile, up here in Brazil is scared for their life, just like last time. So they're going to be fortifying their areas more. And eventually they're going to be going down the coast. They're going to be fortifying their coast and their southern border, just in case anything happens down there. Eventually they do make a front line right here, fortifying the inside. But the plague does eat away at this area. But Brazil is mostly safe. Meanwhile, down here we cannot say the same thing as the yellow team. Yeah, it's basically gone like this. So all this area has been taken. The yellow team is holding out strong, and they're getting a lot of help, and they're able to fortify this area. And they're even able to fortify some of these areas down here. But the rest of their country ends up falling. So now, all of South America is either fortified or fall. So South and North America are complete. So is Europe. But they can't really get down to Africa, so that's basically complete. Now we just gotta look up at Asia. Speaking of Asia, the plague is going through this area at an alarming rate. It's cut off the northern people, the northern guys, who just recently got reunited, and they're going to be fortifying their capital area. It's going so fast that they don't even have time to fortify it all, as the rest of it just falls. So as the Orange Team's capital, they don't have enough time to really do anything there. All this country has fallen. And they're starting to flock in over to here. The red team is going to be greatly encouraged by Korea to fortify their borders. So that they do. Which will kind of delay this for the Korea, and the Siberian team will also fortify their areas a little bit more. Meanwhile, Korea has fortified their border, their Chinese land, the rest of their Chinese coast, and they're stretching up to the northern coast. Eventually, they go to Japan, and all that area has been fortified, as well as this island, which I don't know the name of. And they're just starting to fortify their coast and this northern border, but they're not able to get that far. And now the plague is still going very strong, and it eventually reaches up into this black team, who is getting attacked from both sides, and is going to try to do their best to fortify the rest of their country. And even help fortify the Siberian team a little bit. But it isn't enough, as they ultimately break through into the Siberian team. And they go around and they meet up all the way around this. The red team up here. Okay, and then, yeah, so we need to redraw this. Red team up here. It's gone. They're all plagified. The Siberian team is mostly plagified, and the north is too. And the plague is starting to move south. Meanwhile, down south, this country falls basically over. And it has reached India at alarming speeds. India was very weak to this. They are able to fortify their capital just in time. And after this, they start fortifying their coast at a very quick speed. They have excellent police force, so like all the nearby polices are executed to get to this. So in about in like 3 days, all this has been able to happen. All this area is fortified. But the plague is still here. It didn't leave. And it has still been able to leak in. And the fortifying people are able to meet up. They have to eventually stop because they don't know who's... Because the symptoms of the plague haven't shown up in those areas yet. So they're just going to have to stop. And the plague has been stopped. But now India is very weak. Which is not good. And we still don't have a cure for this thing. There's nothing that really helps. We need to go to... Greenland is supposed to have done this already, so... Okay, and, I'm gonna hurry up and fix Greenland. There we go. Greenland is fixed. But there is no cure for it, and the leading area and cures for it is actually down here in the blue team, in the blue team's capital. Speaking of the blue team, they're going to start fortifying their southern part as they realize they have time, which is exactly what they need as they start fortifying their southern area, their African land. The leading areas, yeah, are, like I said, the blue team, but it's also Australia, who's been working at this for a good amount of time. But we're going to check back up here. The plague is coming very fast. And it reached Korea as well as this country. So Korea was not able to protect themselves in time. But now what they're issuing multiple people everywhere. So they're sending people down here to fortify. And as soon as the news of the plague reaching here, they're going to go ahead and sweep across the country and fortify most of the country. But up here, they're still getting attacked, and this country is quick to fall. And it's just going to continue upward. And that is going to do it for today's episode. But before we end the episode, up here, a plane is heading out from this major city. But this is like right before they start showing symptoms of the plague, and it heads out down south. And at the current time, it was like the last flight. They weren't going to let any more through because of the plague. But it ends up going down south all the way down to here, and it flies into Vietnam. And that will do it for today's episode. If you've enjoyed, please show your support. And I know this wasn't a very long video. All the plague videos aren't going to be very long. But this is kind of I kind of had to create the plague so that I had more time to prepare for the end of the series. So, if you enjoyed, like I said, please show your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.